But if you get bored, just raise your hand during it and I'll turn it off. Because I don't like watching it. I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to stand over there and drink my Red Bull. My sugar-free Red Bull, by the way. Like, where is that? And my girlfriend at the time was just distraught that I was doing this. I was like full out of myself. Like, nah, I'm doing it. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to rock it. I mean, I'm like the skinniest fat guy on the planet, so like I had like, you know, I had like this like nasty like short shorts on, my pale legs. It was horrifying. It was a horrifying view. I don't look like that now, but it was a horrifying view. So the guys said, okay, we want you to go outside, do a dance routine. So they were like, oh, there's a random dude over there in a cheerleading outfit dancing. Let's film him and put him on TV. So they did. And I feel really bad for anybody at home at 7:30 that morning on like their HD television eating their breakfast, watching me dance. It was horrifying. I get these things called nerd tears. And what I mean by that is that I get teary-eyed because the action is so epic that I can't handle it. So I just break down in tears. Like that scene in the trailer when that monster the size of a skyscraper picks up a boat the size of the Titanic and slaps the monster in the face with it, the boat smack. I mean, it's unfreaking believable. I mean, I literally had tears just going down my face. And the special effects are so incredible. ILM did them, and ILM is Industrial Light and Magic, who did all special effects for like Star Wars and Avatar. Which Avatar, by the way, I'll get into that later, but I don't know if you guys are fans of it, but I thought it looked good visually, but it was nothing more than Fern Gully and Pocahontas in 3D. Really, it's really all Avatar was. I mean, now, generally people don't really, not saying you guys, but generally people don't really care about how movies are made. They just want to go in and be entertained. So I had to find some kind of niche where I could make it fun and ask these actors how they shoot these movies, but also make it fun and more visible. I honestly feel like I want to help teach people, not me personally, but just have the actors help me teach audiences how this stuff is done. It's so cool. For example, I've always been, ever since I saw Scarface when I was a kid, I probably shouldn't have watched that movie, but I always wondered, like, what do they use for cocaine in movies? You know what I mean? Like, what are they snorting? Right? No, I just tweeted that. I tweeted that last night. Yeah. Well, I interviewed Vanessa Hudgens and Selena Gomez and Ashley Benson for Spring Breakers. So I asked them, I was like, yo, excuse me, I just want to know, what do you guys snort in those scenes? What is it? And they gave me really cool answers, like vitamin B, that they break open. And Vanessa Hudgens said she got her first nosebleed she's ever gotten in her entire life, which I didn't find true, but you know, yeah, so that was kind of crazy. I like knowing that kind of stuff. When I interviewed Robert Downey Jr. for Iron Man 3, which, by the way, that's another situation where I didn't get him. I didn't initially get him. So for 4 weeks, I emailed Disney once a week, probably twice at times, begging them to give me Robert Downey Jr. I didn't have him initially. They were going to give me Gwyneth Paltrow, but not, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I find her very attractive. Downey Jr. was not going to be there for me to interview. He was going to do like national outlets. Pushed. Eventually, annoyed the hell out of them, and they gave it to me. After the interview was over, he shook my hand and he goes, why are you doing interviews, man? He goes, you should be a filmmaker. And I was like, oh my God, I think I actually, yeah, I'm not gonna say, yeah. I was like, yeah. Oh my gosh. And so, yeah, I should have worn a diaper. So we started talking about 8mm film. This is off camera. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like geeking out. I was like, can I get a picture with you? And I never asked for a picture. About 10% of the time I'll ask for a picture, depending on how big the person is. If I'm never going to see him again. He said, sure. So we stood up for a picture, and took the first one. He didn't like it. He didn't approve of it. He said the lighting was off, and the focus wasn't good. So he starts directing the guy in the room on how to take a picture. And we 4 pictures in, I have my arm around Spielberg, he's a little dude. I mean, I'm 6'3", and he's like, I don't know, I don't know how tall he is, but 4 pictures. And then I booked him again a week later for Tintin. And I walk in the room, he's like, Kevin, it's good to see you. I'm like, oh my God, because now again, in my mind, he remembered my name, but the lady said my name before I walked in. But it's still cool though. I think he might have remembered it, because I sat down and I said, you remember me? He goes, oh my God, I just saw you 6 days ago for Warhorse, and that's kind of cool. So, yeah, so anyways, so after that interview was over, I walk out of the room. This other guy walks in and sits down with Spielberg, and the camera starts rolling. And the guy tells Spielberg, oh my God, that kid out there, he's like doing cartwheels in the hallway, he's like flipping out, he's excited. And Spielberg's like, oh yeah, he goes, I love that guy, or whatever. And he goes, what does he say? He said, something along the lines of, he's gonna be a filmmaker, he's got the stuff. And thankfully, that was rolling. So the timer came out and told me that. I was like, well, I have to get a copy of that. Anyways, fast forward to a month later. A month later, I'm at the Critics' Choice Awards. And Spielberg's there for Warhorse. And I was like, I gotta go say hi to him. Like, oh, best buds. I met him for 8 minutes total. Well, 2 minutes extra if you count the 4 picture taken. What? We're best friends. And for like BFFs. That's what he called me, it's BFF. Yeah, we're best friends, of course. So I walked up to him like, thank you so much for the interview. That's how I said his name, like I was like so stuttering. And I was like, thank you so much. You know, it's my dream to sit down with you. It's always my dream to be a filmmaker. He goes, make a movie and send it to me, a short film. I was like, okay. And he goes, I was like, how do I get it to you? And he goes, have your people send it to my people. And I stopped and I was like, Mr. Spielberg, respectfully, I don't have people. I don't know what you're talking about. So I called up 2 of my best friends from George Mason and made a short film. Shot it in 2 days, 150 hours of editing, and we sent it off to him on November 9th. And I haven't heard back. Well, I got to his assistant and then his publicist and now his producer. Her name is Christy, and she produced like Warhorse and Tintin and Lincoln. So I know they have it, so I run into him again in January. The next Critics' Choice Awards. Mr. Spielberg, you watched my movie yet? He goes, no, I haven't had a chance. And, I've been doing this thing called the Oscars with Lincoln, and I haven't really had time to watch your little short film. He didn't say it like that, but that's kind of the impression that I got. But he was nice about it. Now, I don't expect him to remember me, or expect him to remember who I am, or expect him to remember asking me to do that. But I'm still going to keep following up. So every month, I email Christy at DreamWorks, and I just say, has he watched it yet? And she always responds, you know, where Spielberg is, oh, he's in Cannes, sorry, he hasn't watched it yet, he's doing Lincoln 3, he hasn't watched it, something like that. So, yeah, so that's something that now I'm being persistent about, and I'm not going to give up on that. But afterwards, the reporter who was there, Tony Perkins, my mentor, I walked up to him, out of nowhere, I'm in my cheerleading outfit, my full cheerleading outfit. I said, Tony, I do movie reviews for the Junkies. Any chance you guys need a movie reviewer? He said, yeah, our guy just quit 6 months ago, and we'd love to have you in for an audition. And I'm sitting here in my cheerleading outfit, and he gave me an audition, and I went in and I just kept pushing. And the moral of this story is that, you know, as a kid, I never dreamed of talking about movies. I wanted to be a director. I still want to be a director. That's my end goal in life, is to make films and be a filmmaker. Because I'm just obsessed with cinematography and the way things are shot and scored. But to be able to go on the air and talk about it is incredible. I'm not saying I'm a great critic or anything. I just speak my mind.